Mars exploration isn't the first thing that comes to mind when you think about Earth Day. But when you think about it more, life on Mars will actually be the ultimate challenge in sustainable living. With only the food, water, and air we take with us, and renewable energy sources such as solar for power, reduce, reuse, and recycle will be the name of the game. The Hawaii Space Exploration Analog and Simulation, or HI-SEAS, is a Mars analog study funded by NASA and the University of Hawaii. It features renewable energy systems that would be typical of a Mars habitat. We have a 10 kilowatt solar array that charges nearly 20 kilowatt hours of battery storage. In the case of cloudy days, we have hydrogen fuel cells as a backup energy source. And even our hydrogen is created from a solar-powered electrolyzer. Our hot water for our shower and dishes come from a solar thermal water heater. Today, the crew of HI-SEAS would like to share how living in this simulated Martian environment can help our lives here on Earth. One of the first things we did when we arrived was do an energy audit of the whole hab to see where our biggest consumers of energy were, and found like the bathrooms and the kitchen used a lot of energy. So that was a really good learning experience for the entire crew. Everyone learned how we're using our energy, then how we can conserve our energy. So I think doing something like that in your own home is also a really good experience to do.
Projects like this, where we have to figure out how to live on renewable resources, it's going to help us as a society to cut down on that pollution. Living here and keeping track of every ounce of power and every ounce of water that we use, it really opened my eyes to how wasteful we are as a society. We just, leave the water running, we leave lights on when we leave the room, and it's really like we waste a lot of energy, and all that energy has to come from somewhere. We burn coal for energy, and it's so bad for the environment. We're just wasting it. We're just like, every time we leave a room with the light on, we're contaminating the planet even more.
Being reliant on renewable energy for your electricity has made me much more aware of how I'm using electricity. It's forced me to turn off lights and computers and devices that I'm not using, so that I can conserve the power for when I actually need it. The other thing that's nice about renewable energy is that during the day, once our batteries are charged, we really have sort of free reign to use as much electricity as we want, because if we don't use it then, it's just going to go to waste, because our batteries won't be able to store any more energy.
So living off renewable energy has been a really big change for me especially. I've never really had to keep track of what I had turned on and how much power it was using, but as soon as we moved into the HI-SEAS dome, we have constant monitoring of all of our power systems. So you know it when somebody gets on the treadmill, and you can see a noticeable decrease when people are cooking. These are the things that take up a lot of energy, especially cooking, which we have to do a lot during the day. So one of the ways that I think that this is going to change me, and one of the things that I don't want to go back to in my normal life, is just being so energy oblivious, I guess would be the term.
Before moving to the HI-SEAS dome, I really had no idea about my water consumption levels. Here everything's exact. We know that we use about 50 gallons per day, and we have a 1,000 gallon tank, so it takes us usually about 3 weeks to run through this amount of water, and we're extremely conservative with our usage. In my prior earthly habits, I would just shower as I needed, before workout, after workout, before bed, in the morning, whenever I wanted. And now here, I only shower for about 6 minutes per week. So it's an extremely big change for me, but it's been a welcome change. I don't think I'll go back to my earlier habits. Here I've learned to take the so-called Navy shower, where you turn the water on and off as needed during the time in the shower. And we have this timer on the wall so we can all track our usage and make sure that we're being conservative. So I challenge you to do the same. Give it a try. For a week, try to shower for 10 minutes or less, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, as we have been as well.
Well, what I learned about living off of renewables is that with the right setup, and the right attitude, it's actually very easy and very possible to save tons and tons of energy. You can save electrical energy, you can save water, you can save paper products, what have you. So all you have to have is the correct setup, the right engineering, and a good attitude about it. So that's the biggest lesson for me.
For this Earth Day, the crew of High Seas Mission 3 would like to challenge you to live like you're on Mars for the day. You can do things like try turning off devices at the power point when they're not in use. Sometimes things like coffee makers or DVD players have a standby load. Even when you're not using them, they're drawing power. So try and turn these off during the day. You can also try doing an energy audit of your home, or even just your room. You can find more information on this on my blog, martianadventures.wordpress.com. You can try taking less than 10 minutes of total shower time for 1 week. And you can try doing things like switching from paper napkins and paper towels to cloth ones to reduce your waste. Thanks for taking the time to learn about how life on Mars can help life on Earth. This is High Seas Mission 3 crew signing off.